What's up, guys? It's your girl, Miss Cookie, and today we will be starting something like a book club. Okay, so these books have been going viral on TikTok. So I just wanted to give you guys some time before I made the video so we can start discussing what is in these books. So the books I have chosen would be The Tears That Taught Me. So I know y'all got these books. If not, go get them because we will be doing a book club starting today. We will be discussing some of the material that's in here and just basically, giving our thoughts and opinions as to what is in this book. Also, guys, if you have this book, it is a journal that comes with it as well. So, first things first, we are going to start with the book, and the book is called The Tears That Taught Me. And then the journal is called Through Tears I Grow. So if you have not gotten this book and this journal, I highly recommend. This went viral maybe a couple of months ago, but I had to give y'all time to go get it before I did the video. So you can pause this video, go get your books, because it's time to read. Come do the book club with Miss Cookie. Okay, so we are going to start. Pause the video, y'all, so y'all could go get y'all books. But I am going to continue the video and just talk, but you can just unpause it when you go get your book. Okay, so we're going to start off on the first page, which would be the introduction of the book. I did give myself a page limit so that we can consistently go through the book as a team. Y'all rocking with your girl. But yeah, so the introduction, let me see. So here is the introduction page. Y'all, we going with the introduction first. So the introduction reads, there is a season of life we all encounter that will stop us in our tracks completely. There will be pain that will shake us to our cores and open our eyes to the life and the truth that stands behind us. It's a point that we realize it's time to be real with ourselves and our situations. We can't move forward until we dive in and go through it. The pain, the pressure, and the purpose. This season is painful yet powerful. It is yet enlightening. It is destructive yet crucial to our development. In order to truly grow and heal, we must understand the root of our emotion, spiritual and personal growth. We must prune ourselves to dead mindsets, relationships, and environments to greater align ourselves with peace so that we can intentionally and unapologetically bloom boldly into our authentic selves, lessons, and maturity. So this is deep. So just off the introduction, guys, I'm just like, wow. So what this is we need to find ourselves. And once you find yourself, you will be a better person, a better version of you. Also, so continue reading. Okay, so there was a time that pain was my only perspective. Tear-stained pages, ugly truths, and beautiful life lessons. It was the only thing I could see and feel because I was experiencing so many different types of pain, seemingly one after the next. From the pain of discomfort, disappointments, and disdain of the pains of loss, grief, and anger. It felt like a never-ending journey of destruction and depression. Okay, so just to reflect off of that, we all have been through things. Nobody's life is perfect. We are not going to proclaim that our life is perfect, but we all learn lessons that tend to help us grow. And that's what this book should help us do. It's okay to get a reminder of your past. So when you're looking forward or moving forward with new obstacles, that you make better decisions. That's it. Okay, back to the book. My eyes were fully open and my heart was shattered. For the first time, I saw the world, my friends, my life, and myself as they were, not as I would have them. Okay, so sometimes we are surrounded by people that don't mean us no good. But once you open your eyes, like the introduction says, you most definitely will remove them. Back to the book. I detached from people I thought I wanted in my life forever, saw my flaws and the issues that came from not correcting them, but began to see God more than I ever had. So sometimes things happen to us in our lives. We can't run to people. We can't run to humans. The only person that will save you is your Father. Always remember that. Back to the book. I lost loved ones, lost my way, and lost myself. Sometimes individuals can tell you things and you believe them, but they could be manipulating your mind. So always keep your mind strong. Not saying that, you're not a strong individual, but always try to keep your mind strong and ask for your eyes to be open so that you can see certain things. Because when you start seeing stuff, baby, listen here. Back to the book. Okay, so I lost loved ones, lost my way, and lost myself. Drained, depressed, but God picked up my broken pieces and developed my faith. Character and purposes from these very experiences, insecurities, and emotions that were intended to break me built my faith and bolstered my efforts to find myself in greater purpose. So, yes, I have my pen. I'm writing in my book this time because you guys are coming along in the book club. So, yeah. So, just to comment off of this, nobody is going to save you but your Father. Just remember that at all times. We should not be venting to people because they don't listen, for one. They don't understand what you're saying, for two. And the list can go on and on. But back to the book. I cried myself in those seasons that I ever had in my entire life. In the same breath, I also acknowledged that I learned more than I cried as well. So just remember, writing in my book, when you cry, that does not go unnoticed. Okay? Because all of your tears, your cries for help, all of that is heard. Just remember that. Back to the book. As time passed, self-work ensured a greater understanding of spiritual warfare. Life and purpose grew. From tears of grief to tears of growth to tears of joy. It all began to make sense. Okay. So with this passage, what it say? As time passed, you begin to work on yourself. You were acknowledging the fact that some things that had you crying, misunderstandings that put you in a setting of grief, unnecessary grief. Let me add that. Took you in a place that you did not want to be. So it's okay to remind yourself as to what you have grown through. So, like I said earlier, this book is very helpful. I read it prior to doing this video, but like I said, I had this book for maybe a couple of months whenever it went viral on TikTok. But like I said, also, I had to give y'all time to go get the book. So, yeah. So back to the book. My tears were there to teach me, awaken my spirit, and truly open my eyes. Listen here. Let me read that again, because this is basically speaking on what I just said without me reading this to you guys prior. Okay, so it said, my tears were there to teach me. So when you were hurt, that taught you something. So it made you feel as something that you did not want to encounter no more. Because pain, listen here, back to the book, it awoke your spirit and it opened your eyes, because you begin to see how people were manipulating you or treating you or whatever they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you have to pay attention to people to see what their motives are. And everybody ain't moving in pure intentions. And I know y'all know that. But back to the book. Okay. So every test that God sent me. Now, mind you, you will be sent a test. And it's up to you to determine if you're going to pass the test, if you're going to settle for what is not meant for you to be. Also, whether I initially passed or failed, it still taught you. Now, this is written in the book. Those are not my words, but you will be sent distractions every time. Not every time. I'm sorry, y'all. You will be sent distractions every now and then. So when those distractions come, you most definitely need to ask your Father for guidance, because you need to be able to see through what people are presenting you. Okay, so if you're not doing that, you're going to be blind to the whole entire engagement with this person. So ask for your eyes to be open, ask for your ears to be open, so that when you hear something, you know it's bull crap or you know it's the truth. Long as you listen, that's the key thing. If you do not listen, it won't work. Back to the book. My tears were more than proof of my pain. They were a testament of my conviction, my pruning, my purpose and imprinting joy. To the trials, tests, trumps, and tears that taught me, I acknowledge you. Understand the waters that the enemy intended to drown me, God baptized me clean. Okay, so this is when you're dealing with an anointed one. So everybody won't see that anointment because their eyes are closed. So when you're dealing with people that eyes are closed, they most definitely won't see certain things in you that you present. But that's okay, because your God has you covered at all times. So like this introduction said, God will baptize you clean, and it will make you move differently. It will make you think differently. It will make you speak differently. Just remember that at all times. Okay, back to the book. So if you guys are following along, we are currently on page 7. So now we are into the book, and the first chapter is called The Roots. Let's dive in. Okay, so I am not going to make this video long because I want you guys to stay tuned and keep rocking with your girl. But yeah, so we are in The Roots, page 7. And welcome to the book club of Miss Cookie. Okay, so page 8 of The Roots. So if you guys can see, if you got your book, you can see that there's not many pages on the book, but we will briefly touch on opinions, gestures, whatever, you name it. So these are just my opinions, but of course, you guys can also comment down below and say, hey, Miss Cookie, I don't agree with that. Or, hey, Miss Cookie, you right, girl. But yeah, whatever. So, we are reading the roots of this book. And this book is called The Tears That Taught Me. It's okay to get a reminder. Okay. So with each tear that crossed my face, the person I once was slowly washing away. Now, my thoughts on that is I totally agree with this, because the more you cry to your Father, He listens and He removes certain things from you. He can remove emotions. He can remove attachments, all of that. So I most definitely agree with this page, and this is page 8. Once again, with each tear that crossed my face, the person I once was slowly washed away. So those tears mean a lot. So it's always good to cry. We like, oh, we so strong, and we don't cry around here. No, it's okay to cry, because when you cry, you're releasing a whole level of stress that you didn't even realize that you had on you. So, yeah, it's okay to cry. Okay, back to the book. If you live long enough, you will experience a pain that changes everything for you. You may cause you to trust less, second guess more, or fill you with an anger that can't wait to escape. Okay, so with this verse in this book, so the pain does changes you. Regardless if you want to accept it or not, pain changes your mindset, especially when you're moving in a godly way. So you don't want to experience that. Who want to experience pain? So therefore, you tend to move differently because you don't want to deal with that no more. Like, who wants to consider even putting themselves through constant pain? Like, y'all crazy if you do. Something ain't right. So you need to remove yourself before it gets worse and the situation never gets better. So why would you continue to deal with that? Back to the book. Whether the pain stems from a person or who meant the world to you, someone who has no relevance in your life, or a poor choice of your own. The emotions have a different way of sticking around much longer than the experience. So with this is just basically telling you to protect your peace. And this is the key thing here. Protect your peace at all times. Remove yourself from certain situations that's no good for you. No matter how much you think you're in love, how attached you think you are to someone, remove yourself if it brings pain. And that's the first sign that you need to do, is let go if it's bringing pain. Listen, no, protect your peace at all times. So now we are on page 10. Okay, so this is what page 10 and 11 looks like. So we're going to read these 2 pages, and then we are going to move over to the journal. Like I said, this is a book session with Miss Cookie. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to go through this whole book. Okay, do y'all hear me? So this book is, how many pages? Let me see. So that means you guys will be getting more videos. Okay, so let me see. Hold on. Okay, y'all. So the book is 162 pages. And so that means we will do roughly maybe 5 to 10 pages every book club session that we hold. Okay, so we're going to do these last 2 pages, and then we'll move over to the journal part of the book club session. Okay, so back to the book. Perhaps the whole point of getting lost is to purposely find you. Find your way back to who you are. So sometimes people do get lost with dealing with individuals or even lifelong lessons. So sometimes you do need to reevaluate anything that you're going through, reevaluate your situation, journal, write some stuff down to see how can you make this better for yourself. So I mean, listen, everybody is different, but we all still need to learn from our mistakes, period. Okay, back to the book. So it's difficult to find yourself in a season where nothing seems to be going right, and every effort you put forward only makes things worse. In every step, there's always manages to be 10 steps back. Maybe that's the point of it all. So, reading this, guys, it almost seems like we could tend to move too fast, and it's not our time to move that fast. So, that means we need to slow down. So, sometimes we can be moved a couple of steps back just for you to say, to get that wake up call. The wake up call that you're going to need to say, hey, you need to pump your brakes because you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. So sometimes doing the wrong things will make you open your eyes and evaluate the whole situation, not just pertaining to man or not just pertaining, whatever you got going on. But the thing is, you have to be able to notice when things are going to the left instead of the right. So if you want to continue to go to the right, you have to keep your eyes open, period. Back to the book. Maybe we are experiencing things level of discomfort because God wants our attention. So, right here. So when you are being called, you must listen. There is no way that you can ignore your calling. There is no way that you can ignore your purpose as to how you are to walk this life out, guys. Listen, no way you can deny this calling when it's your time. Or when you are being called. You can't run. You can't hide. No, sir. You will walk in that purpose. You will walk in that involvement of who you are to be. Listen, I am a witness to that. Okay? Listen to your girl when I tell you. Listen, you can't run from this. Stop playing. Okay, back to the book. Maybe he wants us to focus on our mental health and truths within. So, mental health awareness is real. Like people will have meltdowns and you wouldn't even know it. Always check on your family, your friends, your co-workers, anybody that you engage with. Make sure they are okay because mental healthness is real. People are facing so much disaster. Nobody, when they are facing disaster, that's all their minds are in tune with. Guys, you have to keep a positive mind, keep a positive environment, walk in your purpose. Don't let distractions get to you. So when you are evaluating what you're going through, make sure it's not a distraction. Who got time for that? Nobody. Back to the book. Instead of getting wrapped up in the world and everything around us, maybe he wants us to experience lack so we can truly appreciate the growth and abundance that is coming. Listen here. Sometimes you have to isolate yourself from the world because everybody's so worldly. Nobody is holy. Where are those people at? You know what I'm saying? Where are the righteous people at? Because you're dealing with a self world right now. So, yeah, everybody just thinking about themselves. But when you are called and you are divine to walk in this purpose, you can't think about yourself. And all of the anointed people understand this when I explain it to them. You probably heard better, but listen, you can't run from this. And you will see your growth. Once you start walking in your purpose, once you start living victorious, who cares about the world around you? Because your Father has set this path and your Father has written it down for you and He wants you to follow it. Okay? Back to the book. Until you lose your peace, you don't truly embrace and understand the importance of protecting it. So, real quick, and then we'll go to the journal. So, people don't even realize sometimes that they are at peace. So, when you are at peace, you don't let things bother you. You knew that. When you are at peace, you remove all negative energy around you. You knew that. When you are at peace, you don't encounter relationships that's not growing in a godly way, if that makes sense. You remove yourself from all situations that's not peaceful, because who wants to be worried about what you doing, how you doing, and all of that? That's not a peaceful situation. So most definitely remove yourself from all of that. Also, another situation could be people dealing with real life problems. You know, some things are in your control and then some things are out of your control. So the things that you can control them. Period. The things that you cannot control, you need to surrender it, because it's nothing you can do about it. And that's just basic information that you guys should know that already. Like, when you're living this godly life, you surrender everything. There's no half surrendering. There's no, oh, I'm just going to surrender this and then I'll do this. No, when you surrender, you surrender. There's no half doing nothing. You hear me? So listen, when you have to walk, when it's your time to get called and walk in that purpose, listen, you gonna walk. You're going to be obedient. I'm going to tell you that. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. But real quick, before we end this video, we are going to go through the thoughts. Through Tears I Grow. So real quick, this is the journal and then this is the book. So like I said earlier, we are going to go through both of them. So you guys will be getting more videos, because we will be going through all of the pages of this book, you know, just a couple of pages at a time. So we both, or all of us, can, you know, get on the same page of life, you know? Okay. So hold on. So, yep. I put my little marker here as to where I wanted to start in this book. We're not going to do the introduction on this one. So we just going to dive right in with the journal. So we are not going to share what we write in the journal, but they have some very good stuff for you to just take notes and journal. And then you could go back and read it. And then, you know, just meditate on what you wrote down at that moment in that time. And then the sheets of this is long. They're pretty a decent size. So if you think of more stuff, you can always go back and write more stuff. So you can remind yourself. It's okay to remind yourself where you came from. Listen here. You know, we tend not to remind ourselves because we've been delivered from certain things. It's okay, because once you get delivered, then you forget. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, oh man, I can't do that. Nah, I can't do that no more. I just thought about that. No, I used to do that 30 years ago. But listen here. Okay, so we're going to start on page 10 for those that have the book. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend that you get this book, because you are now tuned in to Miss Cookies Book Club. Okay, so page 10. So it says, before you go, each entry will prompt you to search your heart, mindset, and routines in an effort to identify patterns in your behavior, the roots of your burdens, and the opportunities to learn and grow through it all. Like I just said. Although not always stated, it is encouraged to dig deeper than the statements and questions presented. Whether it's a listening or true or false, finish the line, question or statement, go above and beyond what is being asked. Seek to understand the whys. The intent is for you to draw and reel. But being fully vulnerable, it is not only reveal your mindset and heart, but also show you just how far you've come, where you need to do more work, and how to be resilient. So take a deep breath, grab your pen, and turn the page. So, man, the power of resilience. Listen, they spoke on this in the intro here, before you dive into the book. So, just briefly speaking on that, the power of resilience. You know what? Maybe we can speak on the power of resilience next week, or, whenever I do a new video, just like, listen, it's not what you think. That part. So, so the power of resilience. So you guys pretty much know the definition of resilience is overcoming what they thought, you know what I'm saying, or what you have been through. You know what? Let me see if I got time for that. Okay, so next page. So we read 10. This is 11, which is blank. So we're going to go to 12. Okay. So this is what we will be pondering on in this journal or book. So even if you don't have the book, write it down, take notes, something that you can reflect on as to how you've grown in a certain situation or whatever the question will be. So we both will be journaling at this time during this video, so we can just go back like, oh, I forgot something. Hold on, let me go back, and I'm gonna most definitely write this down to remind myself. Sometimes you need that reminder. Okay, so back to the book. Okay, there was a time when pain was my only perspective. Wait, what? Hold on. There was a time when pain was my only perspective. Tears stained my pages, ugly truths, and beautiful life lessons. Okay? It was the only thing I could see and feel because I was experiencing so many different types of pain, seemingly one after the next. Okay, I ain't even gonna comment on that, because then at this point it's gonna get personal. Like, no, I gotta save my little personal stuff for me. Look, I can't tell the world, because I do see y'all rocking with me. I do see y'all watching these videos. I appreciate y'all. Okay, back to the book. Okay, so from the pain of discomfort, disappointments, and disdain to the pains of loss, grief, and anger, it felt like a never-ending journey of destruction and depression. My eyes were fully open and my heart was shattered. For the first time, I saw the world, my friends, my life, and myself as they were, not as I would have them. Listen, that's deep. I hope y'all was taking notes and writing this down. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend it. It is on the TikTok shop. We will be doing this book section. Oh, excuse me, y'all. So we will be doing this book club until the book is completed. So like I said, you guys will be getting more videos from you girl. Just keep rocking with me. It's gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? The more we get in this book, listen, the more we have to say. Okay, so this is the first journaling section. Let's see. So go get your paper, your pen if you don't have the book, the journaling book. Okay, so reflect on a past pain, season, or experience that changed the way you looked at yourself or even your life. How did this past hurt? How did this past hurt impact your mindset? Now that's powerful. That is powerful, guys. So if you sit back, now I want you to think, ponder on this before you just get to writing stuff down. So I am going to do mine off camera. So like I said, listen, I had these books a couple of months ago, but I had to wait for y'all to get y'all's before we got on this. Okay. So, I am going to take this time to reflect my past pain. I am going to take this time to reflect my seasons or my experience that changed the way I look at things. You know, nobody is going to look at things the same way that you do, but that's okay because we are all made different for a reason. But yeah, so listen, I got to do this book. And I hope y'all doing this too. But I want to thank y'all for watching, rocking with your girl. Listen, if you ain't got these books, I need you to go get these books because now you joining this Cookie Book Club.